Welcome to Red Panda Post-Con Review, where we grade conventions that we've attended, focusing on the social aspect and the party aspect of them. I'm Pedrock, and this is
Nelly the Afrobot.
All right, and today we're discussing Katsucon 2016, which we attended a few weeks ago. For Katsucon 2016, it was very enjoyable, but it was very limiting in the after-hours experience. I mean, throughout the day, you had panels, cosplay shoots, you had guests, and it was a very structured and focused experience. But once 10 p.m. hit, you were either at the lounge at the top of the Gaylord, or you were at the rave, or you were at the bar outside of the check-in. And those were really the only popular spots. Everybody else
that we observed. I mean,
yeah, every other spot was people in their own rooms. They weren't throwing hotel parties. It was very niche and closed off. Or there were people walking around, but it didn't have that let's meet new people, let's hang out, let's chat.
Socialize.
Yeah, and socialize, unless you were at the rave, at the lounge, or in the little bar area. So what did you think about Katsucon as a con experience, as an anime con experience this year?
Overall, it was pretty good. It was easy to get to. It was really close to me, so I just drove in. The hotels were very accommodating. I stayed at the Wyndham with a group of people. So that was pretty easy. It's only like 2 blocks away next to the CVS. Highly recommend. I didn't necessarily partake in a lot of the panels. I was kind of more interested in seeing some of the cool cosplays. So there was a lot of One Punch Man, a lot of Undertale cosplays. Some unique ones were like y'all probably seen it online on like Kotaku was the Drake, the Hotline Bling. Yeah. He was like Merchant Room and Artist Alley were pretty standard. They had the Crunchyroll booth was a highlight for me. It was really cool.
Katsucon had a very good anime con feel for me. I know for arriving there, felt great being back in that environment, surrounded by so many people in wonderful costumes and a full lineup of things to do. I agree with you that very few of those events I wanted to attend. However, knowing that was available and having that structure did feel like a good anime con. The convention did run pretty smoothly. I mean, there were hiccups and slowdowns, but that's just the size of Katsucon, and I just don't critique it as much, and that doesn't bother me when I go to other anime conventions.
True. I mean, one of the biggest thing that kind of continued on into this year was pre-reg line registration. There's a lot of people, and it was just jam-packed on Friday. I didn't even get my badge until the evening. Just because there was a big line. Con staff was really nice, so I mean they were doing their best. God bless them.
Always.
But it's something that they're probably going to address next year. Hopefully, it's going to run a little bit smoother because I know people wanted to do stuff during Friday instead of just wait in line.
The social aspect for Katsucon was a bit of a hit or miss. It's a very open and inviting crowd. But everyone has a plan. They have an itinerary. They're busy. And it's very hard to stop and chat with people. It's easy to have a gimmick or like a nice icebreaker type thing, like giving out a Valentine's Day card. Mm-hmm. Or if you're in costume, having some sort of role play for your character. And that begins a conversation that creates a nice little interaction with others, but it doesn't go anywhere. And it's something that is very spontaneous and limited. And from there, you kind of move on and go about your day. So you don't convert anyone into a friend, into a long time, person that you want to see at cons because you don't even think about it because you're busy, because you go from it's very fast-paced environment.
Yeah, it seems like everybody had kind of their own agenda that they were working with, either meeting up with people for cosplay photo groups or meeting up with other friends.
Yeah. And because it had to be so prepared, you couldn't just go and kind of relax and enjoy the atmosphere because you needed to have a plan. Because everyone else had a plan. And if you went, you really had to go with a group. And it was very awkward to have, your group combined with someone else's group. And it was very clashing. And that acted as a barrier. And if you don't have that in mind and you don't go in with being aware of it, you just fall into this trap of just very small chats, and then you move on, and that's about it. And it can be a missed opportunity. And so the social aspect was a little lacking, and it left me wanting more.
I agree. Most of the times it was just you speak with somebody, 10 seconds go by, that's it.
Yep.
Interactions just were very cut and short, dry. It was fine. I mean,
even in the lounge areas, if you went up to the lounge where everyone was meeting up for Friday nights or Saturday nights, or even in the rave, you just didn't have the chance to speak to someone else where they could hear you, or something that could even grow, because if you're in a group, you kind of stick with your group. How do you feel about the location that Katsucon was held at?
Location, I love it. Gaylord is really close to me, really close to Washington, D.C., and transportation's pretty smooth. Only issue this year seemed to be parking. We were hearing that parking was filling up at some of the garages, in addition to the prices being kind of high, but that's kind of normal for the area.
Yep. The location is very good because you don't have to go there just for Katsucon. You can enjoy other attractions nearby, or it's just a fun place to go to. The Gaylord is a beautiful hotel. You have plenty of nice restaurants in the area, and it's enjoyable to be there, and that definitely improved the Katsucon experience for me.
So, I mean, we've been to Gaylord. We love it, recommend it. It's continues to be good, so we'll see it again, future.
So what do you score Katsucon 2016?
Katsucon, I give it a JoJo pose.
You give it a JoJo pose?
I give it a JoJo's pose because that's all it is. I don't know. Go to Pose.
Yeah, that was the name of the lounge.
That was the name of the lounge. That's my highlight. That's where
you give it a JoJo's Pose because it was at Pose Lounge.
Yes.
Yeah. That's where everybody was.
Friday and Saturday. I mean, it was people in cosplays. I saw a Goku breakdance battle. I mean, fun.
And so it was just one highlight.
It was a highlight.
Katsucon just had a highlight.
That was a highlight for me. They had the rave going on. I didn't really go to it, but I heard there was a really good lineup. It looked like it was a really good lineup. So hopefully I'll catch it next year. But Pose, again, next year.
That's the place to be.
That's the place to be. Friday night, at least. Keep it right, get it tight. And what would you give Katsucon 3016? 3016. We're going to the future now.
Yeah, I give it a...
You give it a bleep blop.
I give it...
Can we add this to the blooper
reel? I'll give it a Super Saiyan 3 out of 4. Because there were highlights at the convention, and they're the ones that stick in my mind. I definitely remember arriving. It felt amazing to be there and seeing everybody around me and cosplaying. I thought it was fun walking around, but there just wasn't anything outside of like peak moments where I hung out with you guys, or because I actually did end up meeting someone else or talked to someone else. And those peaks make the Katsucon 2016 feel great, even though I really didn't do much. And because it didn't have that, it left me wanting more. You know what? I give it a Super Saiyan 2 out of 4. I give it a Super Saiyan 2 out of 4. I gotta change it. I think it was just something about this year. I didn't go prepared. There was just a few peaks, and throughout the rest of the weekend, I was just kind of hovering in the middle somewhere. I think for next year, you're gonna be at Pose for next year. I'm just making more plans ahead of time. I really thought I could just arrive there and enjoy the con, and that just left me wanting more from it. Thank you for tuning in to Red Panda Post-Con Review. Please look forward to Red Panda Podcast, where we have a much more longer and go into more of our detailed con experience for Katsucon, and that should be coming up shortly.
Pretty soon. Check it. Catch me. You won't. fuck.